Of the first half here at the Aviva Stadium between Arsenal and Chelsea in the International Champions Cup. Arsenal have just about shaded it in possession terms, but only 2 shots. We didn't find one on target from that. Chelsea much more efficient. I think that's probably been said before in games between Chelsea and Arsenal over the last decade or so, Lee.
Yeah, he certainly has, and the possession stats, I mean, we've seen that they're plenty of the ball at times, but it just shows that the attacking third, that they just didn't create enough and didn't have many shots on target as we've seen, and Chelsea certainly did when they went forward.
Here come Chelsea and Arsenal then. And at the moment it looks like they're going to stick with how they started in the main. All the substitutes have been warming up during the break, as is the norm. But it does mean plenty to get a result here.
There's always something happening around behind you. Unpredicted goals, hat-tricks, and on some occasions, things that make the night as memorable as the match.
Callum Hudson-Odoi remains out there. He's illuminated this match tonight, the 17-year-old. Another off this very prolific Chelsea production line. There is certainly going to be one change at least. Danny Drinkwater. Drinkwater's had to watch Jorginho bedding in so well, hasn't he? Second change will bring on Andreas Christensen. Drinkwater for Fabregas. And Andreas Christensen involved straight away. He has come on for David Luiz for Chelsea.
Substitutions for Chelsea. Number 13, Luiz, being replaced by number 6, Danny Drinkwater. And number 4, Cesc Fabregas, being replaced by number 27, Andreas Christensen.
Jorginho. The man who got the goal, Antonio Rudiger. That power header. So Arsenal, as they started the game, there was a late change in the moments before kick-off tonight with Aaron Ramsey pulled out of the starting 11 by Emery. Sokratis gives the free kick away.
Yeah, you just wonder how bad that injury is, or whether it's just a precaution, especially with the season looming.
Morata just denied by Mustafi, almost run away from Sokratis. Check showing Sokratis exactly what he wanted to do, getting to know you still, the new man, the former Borussia Dortmund centre-back.
And it's just a nothing ball. Morata just trying to get him behind him. Sokratis just didn't know what to do. I mean, obviously as a defender you want it cleared, but you can see that Cech's pointing to his left foot to say, put it there for me.
Drinkwater on corner kick duty. That was aimed at Rudiger again. Hudson-Odoi. Now Cech looking for a quick release here for Arsenal. But again, Aubameyang, we're so used to seeing him get into top gear and drive away, and he almost seemed to be in second gear. Now he gets into top gear. Kept at bay by Azpilicueta. Smith Rowe back to Mkhitaryan and back again. Arsenal lost their way there, Lee.
Yeah, they certainly did, and like you said, you expect anyone to really fire out the traps, and we talked about this, about him getting in behind defences. He did in that final stage. As a striker, you want to be looking to expose the back four of Chelsea. Christensen's just come on, and straight away you've seen a little slide ball for him to get his shot off, but can he get a shot off? He just didn't do it, and delayed.
Offside as Chelsea went down the other end.
Just wondering whether we're going to see, ᴰᴟᴟ just end up being out on that wide sort of player, which I'm just wondering whether Lacazette is the main man to be that central forward figure. He will put himself about and he will hold it up and probably bring players into play a lot more.
ⴰ Mustafi was the only option then. They need to get this right, Arsenal.
Great composure from the back. I think that's one thing about Emery. He will want them to play as much as possible. As you've seen them, they're camped in back on their own byline, and still they're trying to play out Mustafi. Certainly got to have confidence in your midfield, defensive midfield especially, if anything does break down, because anything does and you're definitely exposed as a back four.
Mkhitaryan to Mesut Ozil. Both have offered glimpses of what they can do in this game. Aubameyang, well, we'll file that as well in the same bracket, I think. ⴰ Arsenal should have been encouraged, surely, by the last 15-20 minutes of the first half, when they took it to Chelsea much more. Yeah, they did. They had that possession more, which created more chances, as we know that it's having possession and going places with it, and eventually they did start to finalise doing that down that right-hand side. I mean, I talked about Bellerin. He did start to produce little bits of fortune towards the end of the game. But certainly, I mean, I looked at the possession stats at half-time and I was quite shocked, but they did have quite a lot of the ball in that first half, but just didn't produce with it. For Chelsea, Maurizio Sarri has resisted the opportunity to make wholesale changes so far, but he is telling all the other substitutes to go out and be ready. One or two other senior men like Victor Moses not out there at the moment, looking for the chance tonight. Perhaps a more youthful cast list for Arsenal on their bench. Maitland-Niles, Holding, Iwobi, Chambers, Mavropanos, Reiss Nelson, Eddie Nketiah. Here's the one who thought he'd be on the bench but started, Smith Rowe. Ozil. On by Guendouzi. Kolasinac. None the worse apparently for that collision with Caballero in the first half. Gets it back from Ozil. Studious, isn't it, from Arsenal? Steady. Yeah, and they're still probing away and keeping that ball. Smith Rowe with the layoff. Again, it doesn't reach Aubameyang. And it's so close, it really is, and they built their way up from back to front. Ozil getting on the ball, they're just trying to feed that little through ball, almost through the eye of a needle at times. Ramsey sitting it out. Got to be careful, of course. Manchester City, Chelsea and West Ham. Another spicy one in the early weeks of the Premier League campaign. They have a meeting with Lazio. Also Arsenal after this. Sorry, won't need to do much homework on that. The Italian influence in the Premier League, of course. ᴰᴟ. still no about Sarri as well. Still no assurance that there won't be many ins and outs in the weeks remaining. And I know that the transfer window for the Premier League clubs is, what, 3 weeks before the rest of Europe, basically. But every single day, Chelsea fans wake up to a story that this player is unhappy, this player's all set to move, this player will be coming in. Every single day. Lewandowski is on his way in, we hear.
Well, I mean,
what's that like?
Well, it's got to be unsettling, hasn't it? You know, you're thinking as a player, you want to come in and make a mark in this pre-season games.
Caballero read that ahead of Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe has made his mark.
He's worked himself into this game, hasn't he, Smith Rowe? He really has. It's a great run from midfield, trying to get him behind that Chelsea back four, which he did well.
Bellerin's got a bit of room if Ozil can thread it through to him. He has. And Smith Rowe again forward, doing good work. Fires that in. It wasn't a bad one, was it? Kolasinac keeps it alive and he hits it, deflected over the top. Arsenal threatening.
I've got to say, second half Arsenal been a lot better. I think they've really took that first half period where they did really well towards the back end of it, and they've come out and done exactly the same.
El Neni. Blocked by Rudiger. El Neni again. Chelsea having to stand firm here. Pedro back doing his bit.
I think every Chelsea player is back at the moment. They really are under the cosh, and it's been good composure from Arsenal in the final third, and really, again, we've looked at the stats of how they've not produced enough in that first half. It looks like they've gone in and thought about what are they doing wrong.
And yeah, it's a great point, and actually that's been the way of it in the other games in the International Champions Cup. Atletico Madrid and particularly Paris Saint-Germain.
Well, yeah, and they come out victorious 5-1 that game, and it shows that sometimes this is what these games are actually for. You need to try things, you need to tweak things around. You know, it's certain things that you look at as a manager, as a new manager, not forgetting he's new to a lot of these boys, and he's got to try certain things. But I've got to say, they've certainly come out on the front foot again this second half.
Sarri getting animated on the Chelsea bench. It's a bit short by Guendouzi, but goodness me, he's a confident young man, isn't he?
He certainly is. He's nearly been quiet a couple of times in that midfield. That's my only concern with Guendouzi. He's so confident in himself that he's been caught out a couple of times but got away with it.
Mkhitaryan. Mesut Ozil! Almost. ᴍᴜʟ stuck to his guns very, very well.
That's a great touch from Mesut Ozil. First touch past ᴍᴜʟ and just can't get his shot off on target. Ends up fizzling out. Another good attack from Arsenal, but no end product at the end.
Drink water. Hudson-Odoi, Alonso. Now Chelsea could get at Arsenal a bit, I think. Barkley back to Jorginho, now Pedro. Overload on this side, Hudson-Odoi. This is where so many problems came from in the first half. Morata on the move. And Cech again read it better than anybody else.
Fantastic goalkeeping. Barkley
has the hit. Over the top it goes, surely for a corner.
Again down this left-hand side, the youngster, superb, great bit of build-up play, and what a fantastic ball that is in the box. That is a striker's dream. Can you get across that front man? Which Morata tries to do. He's causing all sorts of problems with the two defenders, and fortunately they've got that experience of Petr Cech, who guides the ball away superbly.
Chelsea scored from a corner in the first half. Rudiger goes for it again!
Wow, how was that not nestled in that far corner? What a ball in from Pedro. He's pinged it in with pace, but again, look at the defending, look at the marking.
But Lee, I do not understand why they're still putting
young Emil Smith-Rowe up against the towering Rudiger.
And you're dead right. You're dead right. I mean, he's obviously one of the most powerful headers in that Chelsea side. That's for sure, because he's on the score sheet. But to put the youngster up again, you'd think they'd put one of the centre-halves up against him. But what a chance that is. That was probably easier than his first one.
Guendouzi.
And when you think for all the good play that Arsenal had in this first period of the second half, they'd be disappointed, wouldn't they, if that had conceded.
Would have been of their own doing to a degree. I know you love your stats, and I'm sure with all your homework you'd probably be able to produce a file which says it's all about the set pieces. In open play, it's Aubameyang for Arsenal, and they didn't use it well enough, but Smith-Rowe gets on it here, and it's turned to safety by ᴍᴜʟ.
Yeah, and ᴜģᴜʟ, you expect him to, well, he gets his shot off on target, and it's great bit of hounding. Comes from Ross Barkley getting caught out. ᴜģᴜʟ tries to square it. It's a terrible touch from ᴍᴜʟ, but the youngster pounces on that bad touch.
Got a good recovery there.
Great recovery, great defending.
Bellerin. Mustafi's made some space for himself here. ᴍᴜʟ again. El-Neni, that's not good.
Not a good ball in at all, especially when you've got bodies in the box there.
Mustafi. Looking for Mkhitaryan, Rudiger's there ahead of him. Alonso was looking for Morata then. Pardon me for being so rude, but was that ball by Alonso a rather pointed commentary in the direction of Morata? That's where you should be, son. We'll come back to that in a moment. Ozil denied that time.
It certainly was, wasn't it? And I think the reply from Morata was, no, thank you. But to be fair, that was the only ball he really could have played, was possibly down this channel, where you'd expect Morata to be making that run and relieve them of the pressure. But I didn't see much of it, much movement.
Barkley showed for that, and Guendouzi matched him. Gets a big hand here. We're approaching, well, we're just past the hour now, and there's a lot of movement on the bench. I think it's pretty much as they would have planned it today, that at the hour mark several changes would be made. But the intensity has not dropped. Hudson-Odoi sent back by Mkhitaryan. Danny Drinkwater back to the youngster who's animated this Chelsea display. Jorginho to Barkley. Drinkwater. Rudiger. Christensen. Danny Drinkwater's made the run through the middle. He's offside. He had so much time then, and about half an acre of prime Dublin property.
He did, and the space was gaping. It's a fantastic run. I think he's onside. I certainly think Bellerin switched off.
So here come the changes, and we'll try to follow them as they are made here. Emil Smith-Rowe will come off. He's certainly got a fair measure of game time during this International Champions Cup. Alex Iwobi is on for him.
Substitution for Chelsea, number 3. Number 2, Antonio Rudiger, being replaced by number 44.
Davide Zappacosta, Tammy Abraham,
Number 11, Pedro, being replaced by number 15,
Emerson.
Victor Moses. And number 28, Cesar Azpilicueta, being replaced by number 21, Davide Zappacosta.
So Hudson-Odoi stays out there. Ozil's onto it. Ethan Ampadu has gone in at right back. He's a young player lead that a lot of Chelsea fans are hoping to see more of. He's getting rave reviews wherever he's gone so far in his short career.
And that's good. I love all that with the youngsters getting a chance. It really does.
Here goes Tammy Abraham, who's had to wait for his moments at Chelsea. Abraham did well, Barkley maybe not so well, head was down, almost recovered by Jorginho. Iwobi for Arsenal, Drinkwater was pulling him back, Iwobi leaves him behind. Ozil, Mkhitaryan with room on the edge of the box, sets himself for the shot, slight deflection on it, but Caballero able to drop on it easily.
Yeah, and it's again good build-up play. Mkhitaryan just can't get that extra yard to get a clear shot away. Good defending from Christensen. Easy hands for Caballero.
So we've still got the two goalkeepers we started with tonight. Caballero for Chelsea and Petr Cech, who's been brilliant tonight for Arsenal. Abraham is now his turn to be offside. Victor Moses replacing Pedro. Moses, of course, another of those who had the World Cup over the summer. Played all three for Nigeria. Mkhitaryan, Iwobi. And again, it's fairly much a miss-hit by Iwobi.
It is good work from Arsenal. They really are probing at the moment. Just can't get that final end product that's getting them back in this game. But they're certainly asking questions of Chelsea. And it's a half chance.
It's a good win.
Just can't get a chance, can't get a strike off.
Kolasinac, Guendouzi, Mkhitaryan showed for it. It goes square instead to El Neni. Arsenal are well on top, really, aren't they? But they're not getting a goal to show for it.
Well, that's it. They've had plenty of possession and they've probed. You know, it's just obviously they need that goal. And I think it'll give them a big lift if they get it. That's what I'd like to see.
Guendouzi with a good-looking ball to Bellerin is a bit lively, in fairness.
Yeah, and this space out here for Bellerin has been on all night, really. But just a poor pass that gives them a little bit too much to do.
Cool as you like back there. Ampadu and Jorginho. Ross Barkley. Zappacosta was surging, and that would have been a perhaps more threatening ball than just rushing it the way Barkley did then. What about Barkley's level of performance tonight so far, Lee?
I mean, he's done okay, hasn't he? I mean, when he's playing in that midfield role, you know, I'm expecting a little bit more from him, if I'm being honest. I think he really can cause teams problems in that attacking third, as we've seen there. Usually he would slide a ball through.
Guendouzi fouled by Abraham and a quick restart. Good thinking. Iwobi. There's Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang for company here. Alex Iwobi trying to go around Zappacosta. Nothing doing.
And I think he was looking, well, Mkhitaryan was looking for that little 1-2 bounce off him. Chose to go alone.
El Neni. Guendouzi found Mkhitaryan nicely.
And that final touch and that final third, a little bit of quality that just they need to get them back in this game. And all it is just a final pass that's just not been there tonight for Arsenal. It really hasn't. Guendouzi's really got hold of this game, especially second half. His one-touch, two-touch play has been superb.
Still, for all Arsenal's endeavour, 1-0 to Chelsea.
They've certainly had half chances to get themselves back in this as well.
Victor Moses looking for a free kick, and Kolasinac rather obliged him. Now he has a problem again, Kolasinac. I think he feels he can't offer any more here.
Yeah, I think it's a silly foul to give away, but he's just played his knee with that inside. You don't want to be continuing on and things like that. I mean, that did look quite a bad one.
Steve Bold, one of the old guard at Arsenal, with so much change all around him. Not just Emery, but a whole new setup to back that up.
For the most affordable selection of premium tickets to all of your favourite live events, go to vividseats.com.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles is coming on.
46,002. Thank you. Substitution for Arsenal, number 31, ᴫᴇᴟsᴟ, being replaced by number 15, Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles, a player who can certainly say he is versatile.
He certainly can, at that young age. Do like this youngster, really do. Certainly got a bright future.
Moses to run at him straight away. Zappacosta back to drink water. Also wanted an offside on Moses then. Drink water. Moses has got to it. Mkhitaryan free for Arsenal. Trying to find where Aubameyang was. He got a free kick out of it quite cleverly.
Yeah, he did as well. Worked very hard to get back. I think it was a pretty harsh one, but fair, I'll say.
It won't be. Ozil, Aubameyang! That's good by Ampadu again, isn't it? Very aware.
Great defending. Great build-up play as well, though. Ozil, great little Cruyff.
Just the touch that counts in the penalty box, eluding Arsenal here.
I'm just going to say, I mean, that was pure strength that knocked Mkhitaryan over. I think it was there to be won.
Arsenal legend from these parts, David O'Leary, watching on tonight with Ivan Gazidis. And Gazidis himself has been the subject of some transfer speculation over the summer. Chief executive. Reece, Nelson and Lacazette are coming on. Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang being withdrawn now. Arsenal have pressed and pressed. Ozil takes the free kick. It's off El Neni.
Really love to see Ozil really fire that ball in. I think it's such an easier ball to defend when it's flighted in at that sort of easy pace, it's so much more difficult as a defender to try and defend them balls. Obviously, we've seen Chelsea's goal from the corner, plenty of pace.
Under fairly consistent pressure, but no sign that they're buckling, Chelsea.
I've been a little bit disappointed with Chelsea since that really frantic start they had. They haven't really done much for me that's really stood out. I mean, I've got to say the youngsters really stood out, ᴍᴜʟʟ. But bar that, Arsenal really got into this game, and possession-wise, they've shown a lot better, much more comfortable in possession. Just haven't had that end product, which we all say, it's the only way you're going to win games. Possession's not going to win you games.
New manager, Sarri, same old steely edge to Chelsea. Well, of their better teams of recent years, the better Mourinho teams and the better Conte version.
Yeah, I think that's what he will bring to this side. I think the way he is, he's got that steel about him, he's got that passion, and I think if they walk off games winning 1-0, they'll be overly happy with that.
Abraham. Drinkwater and Jorginho. ᴍᴜʟʟ. Christensen to Drinkwater. Jorginho. More studied period of possession for Chelsea.
This was more like the first 10-15 minutes that they had that bit of possession. I know they made a few changes in that, but I just think I was looking at Jorginho, and sometimes you forget what a good player he is and how much he influences this team.
Just keeping it ticking over, and of course that in itself, Lee, just quells the Arsenal fire, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
That's a present.
Commentator's curse.
Lacazette, he's in for Arsenal here, and he's missed it.
Chance. Big chance. And it was gifted. We talked about Jorginho, how well he's done. And he gives the ball away in that central area. But Lacazette, superb. Great little nutmeg on Christensen. And just hasn't got the end product to just pass it in that corner. Certainly tries to, but the accuracy's just not there. Everything but perfect. And it just could have drawn this Arsenal side back into this game.
They've had the chances here, second half Arsenal.
Well, that just shows what ᴜᴟʟ didn't do while he was on the pitch. And Lacazette's done in the space of 5 minutes. He showed and offered something in that central forward area that they haven't had.
Speaking of the commentator's curse, I've written a little script about a goalkeeping change tonight, and I think it's the wrong script. I'll refer to it again in a moment. Arsenal have a free kick. Sarri wants to change his goalkeeper. I don't think now's necessarily the moment.
I was going to say, I don't think it'll be quite this minute.
Callum Chambers is going to come on shortly for Arsenal. Caballero continues. This would appear to be at the outer extremity of Ozil's range, but Caballero's put in a fairly hefty wall there.
Looks not a bad range for him, but
he does hit it, Ozil.
Easy for Caballero. He knew it was always going wide.
Now then, I mean, absolutely no disrespect to this young man, Marcin Bulka, the goalkeeper coming on, but a lot of people might have been hoping to see Robert Green playing in Chelsea green at the age of 39, not on this occasion.
Yeah, it'd have been a great ordeal for him to come on, make his debut for Chelsea, but wasn't to be.
May well happen sooner rather than later, we don't know, but Sarri wants to have a look at Bulka. Also on is ᴄᴜʟ Bakayoko, a player with a fair amount to prove, I think. He's on for Barkley. Certainly didn't establish himself as Chelsea were hoping. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, and they expected so much from this boy, didn't they? And I mean, Loftus-Cheek, I think he's got bags of ability and strength. You know, I was really impressed with how well he did at the World Cup, the bits he did do. But going back to Bakayoko, you know, he's certainly someone who needs to step up to this Chelsea front this season.
Chambers for Bellerin for Arsenal. And the game is still being fought hard for Arsenal, with chance after chance here in the second half.
They've certainly been the better side this second half, that's for sure.
And another very, very competitive encounter in the International Champions Cup 2018. Costa. Guendouzi left in his wake. It's a very important intervention by Mustafi.
And we know that Costa's going to bomb forward, and he's put it in a good area. You can see he's moaning at Tammy Abraham. You know, he's pointing, get across that near, get across that front man, which he's certainly right as well. Because Mustafi clears it well, but if Abraham gets across him and gets in front of him, makes it so much harder for him to clear.
Adding to that Italian connection, of course, for Sarri. From less fashionable Torino, but making his presence felt at Chelsea. Emerson, another who needs to step up now this season, I think.
Yeah, there's plenty that have come to the frame at Chelsea that really need to, well, show what they're all about, really. And big players that have come on big fees and not produced. Hence the season Chelsea had.
Abraham's denied by Socrates. Layoff by Lacazette to Ozil, couldn't get there. Hudson-Odoi. Guendouzi. Sympathetically handled by the referee.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know if that would have been a yellow card in normal circumstances, but it's great feet and great skills that we've expected from this boy. For me, it's a yellow card for sure.
Guendouzi imposing himself with and without the ball. There's Rob Green at the back of the shot. Every picture tells a story, doesn't it? I thought this was my big moment. Maybe it's going to come, hopefully it will. And of course, Carlo Cudicini, another former goalkeeper, working with Sarri at Chelsea, along with Gianfranco Zola. Chelsea have soaked up an awful lot of pressure here in this second half, Lee. Drinkwater takes their free kick. Socrates headed it. Iwobi tried to take it off. Costa very nearly did.
He certainly didn't. If he did, he was going to be a big breakaway, but I think, you know, it'd been crying shame if Chelsea went and got that second goal. I don't think they've deserved much this second half. I really don't. I know there's been a host of changes, but I've got to give a lot of credit to the way Arsenal have been this second half on the ball, in possession.
Here's Abraham. He's denied by Mustafi. They've rolled their sleeves up as a pair, I think, in this game, the centre-backs for Arsenal, Socrates and Mustafi. Hudson-Odoi. Steered backward by Ampadu. Bulka. Mustafi took charge of that. Socrates had a little nudge on Abraham. those that have played 90 minutes or shaped to play 90, are your legs really feeling it at this stage?
I think, yeah, you will do. I mean, usually the pre-seasons are pretty tough, and I know they're regulated different to how we used to do pre-season, but yeah, you do start to feel a bit wary at times, but that's when you need to know your own body and, you know, maybe call up to the manager and say, my time's up. You know, there's a big squad of players that most of these Premier League sides have. You know, sometimes you need to get your balance back, ready for that start of the season, which is only a week and a half away.
Yes, exactly. ᴫᴟ is a good case in point. He's shaping to play the 90 minutes. Chambers, that's nice. Nelson with the cross. Not quite so. Made a good run, didn't he, Reiss Nelson?
Yeah, he did, but I'd like to see him try and get his head up in that position, because he possibly could have got a shot himself.
ᴫᴟ found Chambers. And it's a brilliant stop by Bulka. And deflected over the top. And that is as close as Arsenal have come, and the new man in goal denies them. Brilliant football in the build-up.
Superb. It's a great ball across. You just expect that to be a goal from Iwobi, and what a fantastic save from Bulka. He really does pull an absolute worldie out the bag to keep this 1-0. Would Rob Green would have done that.
Exactly. Lucas Piazon is going to replace Hudson-Odoi. What a reception for the teenager here.
He's really stood out.
Yes, he has. Piazon back from his loan spell at Fulham. But while he's been away, the next wave have been forcing their way forward. ᴫᴟ takes Arsenal's corner. They've threatened and threatened. Bulka's equal to that as well. Did well.
He did demand it, coming for that ball.
Nelson. And then he just caught on his heels. He'd never have got to that. I don't think Arsenal could come any closer without levelling, Lee. Oh
no, that was a fantastic chance of getting back into this game at such a crucial period. I think, you know, I've said that they've had some great bits of possession. They've slowly worked their way into this game, and I really do feel that they deserve to be on level par here 100%, because this is a fantastic save coming through a player, and it's just a reaction save, but it's a very firm right hand that Bulka pulls out there, and it's a great save, especially when you're thinking he's only been on a couple of minutes. Superb.
Sapakostin in a little bit of a tangle. Arsenal want to get that ball back, and quickly. Elneny. Sapacosta. Victor Moses. Abraham arcing his run to try to stay onside, and he couldn't do it.
If only went a little bit earlier. Moses, he hold on to the ball, and Abraham knew he was going to get on. I think it was just Chambers that was just playing him onside and just looked across the line and stepped back up. Good work from Chambers.
Elneny. Iwobi. Chambers picked out Lacazette. Reiss Nelson looking to take on Ampadu. Always threatening to go past him, and he beat himself in the end.
And he did well, really well, to get past Ampadu, who I feel he had the beating of there. That's when you've got to make your mind up, and am I going to put that in the box? Yes. Slide that back across that 6-yard area at pace. It's not your opportunity to put it in the net. It's where you put the ball for your strikers, and that's the youthful thinking, where you've got to put it in. All you're doing is delaying and delaying and letting that Chelsea back four get back into a unit.
Mustafi standing firm again. Here's Moses. Zappacosta. Victor Moses once more. Played a 1-2 with himself there in the corner. Zappacosta. Emerson to Loftus-Cheek. Danny Drinkwater. Moses had his arms in the air. He's got to it. Maitland-Niles is out to him. Not quite for Iwobi. Time is ebbing away for Arsenal.
I'm just wondering how many of these so-called talented youngsters that Chelsea have, and the likes of Loftus-Cheek. We've seen today the youngster out wide being absolutely magnificent. Hudson-Odoi, you know, where are they going to go from there? They've got the big hitters coming back from international duty. You know, where do they go? Where do they lie in a career?
Good win back by Chambers for Arsenal. Lacazette needs to move it along. Well, they have been spread far and wide, as you know, the Chelsea youngsters over the last decade or so, across Belgium, Germany, France. They cornered that industry. And the thing is, as well, they keep on winning all the youth competitions, don't they? Or getting pipped in a final, as they did last season.
Yeah, and it just speaks in volumes that they've got some fantastic youngsters. They really have. It's just, you know, you'd like to see a few of them being produced. You know, if the likes of Willian ends up leaving the club, or Hazard, are some of these youngsters going to get their chance?
Nice by Guendouzi again. Emery urging one last big effort by Arsenal. They feel they're worthy of at least a share of this. Guendouzi to El Neni. Ozil. Layoff by Iwobi. Chelsea with that block of blue. And Odi Abraham up the field. Now maybe something. Ozil onside. El Neni. Lacazette couldn't get turned on it. Chambers again. Done well at right back, Chambers.
Very well, yeah. He's got forward, got into the game very quickly since he's come on.
Here he goes again. Lacazette came to him. Three additional minutes. It's broken down for Arsenal. And now Loftus-Cheek. Abraham and Moses are up with him, and he splits the pair of them.
And it's a poor pass. It really is, especially when you've got two front-running players running against 2v2. The unfortunate thing was Abraham sort of closed the space that Moses wanted to run into.
Ozil has space for Arsenal. They keep on coming. Christensen did well. Got better and better, hasn't he, Christensen?
Really has. Good defending from him, because he's read the line. He's seen Lacazette just trying to slip in behind. And it's good defending.
Well, we had an early goal from a corner at this end in Chelsea's favour. What have Arsenal got now? Iwobi hoists it in there. Socrates attacked it.
Yeah, he's tried to anything headed towards the goal, gives himself a chance of scoring. Looks like he just tries to glance it rather than going for power. And he's got half a chance on that. But you've got to give Chelsea a lot of credit. They have defended well. They really have.
No panic whatsoever, been under a lot of pressure, and that does bode well. It's all structured, isn't it? You know, they know what they're doing, Lee, and they're a new coach.
I think that's one thing I'll say about both managers, is that, you know, there will be more of a structure from both sides, and we can see that.
Nelson. Chambers, Ozil, Ampadu, tight as can be, gave a free kick away.
There's no need for him to give that free kick. He's got him forced away from the goal. He's got him where he wants him. Keep him going that way away.
This might be it now for Arsenal. Ozil takes it. Christensen again. It's not very far clear though. Lacazette. Here he goes. Brilliant again from Marcin Bulka.
Tell you what a save. He has been superb since he's come on bulk up.
Looks another find for Chelsea, the young goalkeeper from Poland.
Really does.
Iwobi. Arsenal just keep on coming. Nelson. It's gone in. Lacazette has levelled it virtually with the last kick. And maybe Arsenal deserve that.
And they do. They really do deserve it. And you know something? It's a bit of magic. You look at ᴄՂᴇʟsᴟ. He just gives him the eyes, and Nelson makes that run. But what I said earlier about Nelson is, put it in them areas, which he does. Who's standing there? Lacazette. Fantastic. Don't know much about it. Might have even hit him and gone in, but the pace he puts it in at, it causes problems. It really does. He doesn't really know much about it. Superb little disguised pass from ᴄՂᴇʟsᴟ. What a ball. And that's what you get from good delivery from wide areas.
Lacazette doing his best right in front of goal.
And he did actually caress that in. I thought he didn't know much about it. And what you've got to think of, that's come from Abadou's silly mistake and free kick that he's given away towards the end there.
That will surely be mentioned afterwards, indeed. But Arsenal would say we deserve to be on level terms.
And they do.
And they couldn't have left it any later. What a tremendous contest in the International Champions Cup again here in Dublin tonight between Arsenal and Chelsea, right up with the level of the tournament elsewhere. Hard fought, as virtually every game between Arsenal and Chelsea is, under new management or otherwise. And with the young man in goal for Chelsea, more work for him to do, Bulka, after a couple of brilliant stops. Now we will have a penalty shootout to decide who